Let's just start with the real basic question. How did all of this go down?
It went down, Nicole, over a frenzied 5-week process where teams, frankly, saw Juan Soto as the true apple of their eye. He is 26 years old. He is one of the 3 best hitters in baseball, and all teams needed to get him was a big bag of money, and that biggest bag came from the New York Mets. The $765 million not only sets a record, not only exceeding Shohei Ohtani's deal last year, but let's remember, Shohei Ohtani's deal is almost entirely deferred. The net present value of that was about $470 million. There is not a single dollar deferred in Juan Soto's contract. So not only did this beat Ohtani's deal, it absolutely crushed it, and it is the biggest contract in professional sports history.
Michael just said, obviously, it's Steve Cohen who's the one who has to open the checkbook, and he opened it all the way up for this deal. You texted with him after the deal was announced. What did he tell you?
You know, it's really interesting because when Steve Cohen bought this team back in 2020, the expectations were absolutely enormous from Mets fans. For decades, they had languished with ownership that was not willing to spend like a New York team, like the New York Yankees typically would. Steve Cohen promised to change that. And, you know, he went out and got Francisco Lindor and signed him to an extension. He tried to get Carlos Correa, whose physical wasn't good, and ended up going to the Minnesota Twins. But he hadn't had that one moment, that one big free agent who changed the future, changed the trajectory of this franchise. And when I was texting with Steve Cohen, he said, very simply, just a big day for the franchise.
Yeah, a huge day for the franchise. What I'm curious about, too, none of this is deferred money, so it's $765 all right now. But there are also escalators in that contract. You say it could take this north of $800 million. What do some of those escalators look like?
The escalators are tied in, Nicole, to the opt-out in the deal. He has an opt-out after year 5 of the contract, and if he chooses not to opt out, the average annual value of the deal will go up from $51 million to $55 million. And remember, because this is such an enormous deal, 15 years, longer than any that we have seen in the history of Major League Baseball, all those years tack on, all that money builds up, and all of a sudden you've got a deal that's $765 that turns into